Right now at noon, crews in Sun Prairie are responding to a gas leak on the city's northeast side. We'll have the very latest. Plus, the president's still receiving backlash after his meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. And the Thai soccer team that was trapped in a cave for several days has been released from the hospital. What they're saying about their ordeal.
This is News 3 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 on this Wednesday afternoon. We'll get to those stories in a bit. But first, let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield. Look at our first alert forecast. It just keeps getting nicer.
It really does. Now, this isn't going to last forever, but while we have it, let's enjoy it, right? With partly sunny skies, low humidity, and temperatures in the 70s, it is a fantastic afternoon to maybe get outside and enjoy lunch outside. Currently at 75 degrees, calm wind, that dew point very comfortably still in the upper 50s. Temperatures across some other spots up to 79 in Lone Rock and Boscobel, 81 already in La Crosse, 77 in Mineral Point, and 75 in Monroe. Dew points are in the upper 50s and low 60s, so maybe a little bit more humid, but still, we can definitely handle this. We can handle this humidity. Wind speeds, not too bad as that high pressure system moves to the east. We're getting those southeasterly winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour today. Temperatures and winds over the next 12 hours reaching highs in the low 80s, then falling through the 70s into the 60s tonight. When I come back in just a few minutes, we'll talk about storm chances coming back and how much rain we can expect to receive as we head into this weekend in your first alert forecast.
We certainly need some rain.
We could use some.
All right, we'll check back in a few minutes. Thank you, Dave. Topping the news today, crews are responding to Sun Prairie's northeast side for a gas leak. We Energy spokesman Amy Johns said the company was notified this morning that a contractor struck a line in the 400 block of Banninger Court. She says the crew arrived around 8:30 a.m., turned off the gas 15 minutes later. One customer will be without service as the crew makes repairs, which is expected to be completed today. Two teenagers involved in a crash in a stolen car ran through a mini golf course in an unlocked home on Madison's west side Monday night. Officials say a car was reported stolen Monday night from a Garnet Lane driveway. The car crashed. The 16-year-old driver and 14-year-old passenger stopped when police saw them walking away on Odana Road, but 17-year-old Ramoji Carr Jr. and Javian White ran away. They ran through the Vitens Golf Land and went into an occupied home on Suffolk Road. While leaving, they broke a window. Carr, White, and the 16-year-old and 14-year-old were arrested and face multiple charges. President Trump is still dealing with the fallout of his press conference in Finland when he appeared to side with Russian President Vladimir Putin over America's intelligence agencies. Mola Lenghi has more details from the White House.
The president is still defending his meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. He tweeted this morning, many positive things will come out of that meeting.
I accept our intelligence community's conclusion.
Reading from a prepared statement Tuesday, the president says he misspoke during a press conference with Putin when he said he didn't see why Russia would interfere in the 2016 election.
The sentence should have been, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be Russia.
Former Homeland Security Secretary Fran Townsend said the president was likely pushed into making the correction.
I think you've got to assume there was some pretty tough talk inside the White House in advance of that correction by intelligence chiefs who may very well have threatened to resign.
But she says it doesn't add up.
His press secretary was with him. If it was a mere misstatement of would and wouldn't, Sarah Huckabee Sanders would have done it then and there. So it's just not credible.
While much is being made about what the president said in his press conference, Democrats want to know what was said in the president's 2-hour one-on-one meeting with Putin. Democratic Senator Jeanne Shaheen is calling on the Senate to hold a hearing with the U.S. interpreter who was in the room.
President Trump wanted no one else in the room. So to have the translator come testify and tell what happened there is an imperative.
And Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is scheduled to testify next week on what he may have learned about the meeting after it was over. Mola Lenghi, CBS News, the White House.
And there is also building consensus to vote on a bipartisan bill sponsored by Senator Marco Rubio that would lay out sanctions against Russia if it tries to interfere in the upcoming elections either this year or in 2020. MGM Resorts claims it can't be held financially liable for the worst mass shooting in U.S. history. In two federal lawsuits filed against hundreds of shooting victims last week, MGM says it cannot be held liable for deaths, injuries, or other damages arising from the shooting. It cites the Safety Act. The law encourages security firms to develop new anti-terrorism measures. In exchange, companies who use those security firms are immune from claims. MGM says it can't be sued for the shooting because the security company hired for the concert was certified under the Safety Act.
If you make the public think that you're suing people or their families who are dead or seriously injured, to me that's a PR disaster.
In a statement, MGM says it hopes federal court filings will lead to a timely resolution for all of the victims. The company claims more than 2,500 people have already sued or threatened to sue them over the shooting. The National Guard in Hawaii is warning of new immediate dangers to people living near the Kilauea volcano. The continuous lava flow has now covered about 12.5 square miles of Hawaii's Big Island and destroying more than 700 homes. It's still threatening many more. At the same time, the massive flow of lava into the ocean is reshaping the Big Island. Lava has been pouring into the ocean for more than 8 weeks now. The island has grown by nearly 700 acres, the equivalent of more than 500 football fields. The 12 Thai boys and soccer coach who were rescued from a cave are speaking out about their harrowing ordeal. They appeared at a news conference after being released from the hospital. The boys described what it was like for them in the cave. They said they weren't initially scared because they thought the water would go back down overnight.
I told everyone, fight on. Don't despair. It was a miracle. It was a miracle. I was shocked.
The children brought out a drawing of the Thai Navy SEAL who died trying to rescue them. They say they felt sad and guilty, and they hope the drawing, which they all signed, will go to the diver's family. Doctors say each child gained about 6 pounds since the rescue was completed 8 days ago. And there's an incredible amount of support for the Sun Prairie community, that is, following the fatal explosion that happened last week. And we got to see it firsthand here at News 3 yesterday. At last count, our day-long telethon raised $143,000, and we're still counting online donations, so a final number will come in later today. Thank you all for donating. But all that money is going to stay local, benefiting the families impacted by the blast. Again, thanks. And there's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
We've got just the thing to help keep you hydrated all summer long. Not only do they taste amazing, they're good for you too. This time of year, when the summer sun is blazing, I want to remind you that it's important to stay hydrated. It may sound obvious, but so many of us forget to drink that extra glass of water or eat foods that are high in water content. Now, the basic rule of thumb is that you should drink about 8 glasses of water a day, especially if you're outside. And if you're thinking, I can't drink all that water, then make sure you eat lots of fruits and veggies, since they're packed with water. And for a cool way to stay hydrated, how about making some frozen fruit pops? No worries, they're easy. All we do is place chunks of watermelon in a blender or a food processor, along with a bit of water and a little sugar. After it's blended, we pour it into popsicle molds or into paper cups. To take these to another level, we can add some cut up fruit or fresh mint. Once they're frozen, they're ready to enjoy. Get ready for a cool and refreshing treat that'll help you stay hydrated on those hot summer days. To get the recipe for what we call fruity watermelon pops, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a cool and refreshing way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. Coming up on News 3 at noon, a partly sunny day, but changes could be on the way. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield has your first alert forecast when we come back. Our call for action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. The number is 608-270-2833. Cities around the U.S. get a stress test. Diane King Hall has more in today's Money Watch report.
Google faces a record $5 billion fine after EU regulators found the tech giant violated antitrust rules. The European Union says Google abused its dominance of Android smartphone technology, in part by requiring manufacturers to pre-install its search app and Chrome browser app. More than 500,000 Ford vehicles are being recalled. Affected models include certain 2013 through 2016 Ford Fusions and 2013 to 2014 Ford Escapes. The problem, a degraded shifter cable can allow drivers to move the shift lever to park and remove the ignition key while the transmission might not actually be in park. Twitter suspended at least 58 million user accounts in the final 3 months of last year. It's part of Twitter's crackdown on suspicious accounts following Russian disinformation efforts in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Twitter confirmed it also shut down some 70 million accounts earlier in the year. And Wallet Hub released a new study ranking cities where Americans are the most stressed. At the top of the list, Detroit, followed by Newark, New Jersey at number 2. The U.S. city with the least stress, Fremont, California. The personal finance site weighed a number of factors like poverty rates, affordable housing, and hours worked. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
Diane, thank you. At the noon hour, the Dow Industrial is up 79 points. The NASDAQ, however, down 6. Now let's check in with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee on this beautiful Wednesday.
Oh, isn't it just, though? I'm telling you, we may not be picking up the degree growing units that we did a week ago, but man, livestock's a lot happier. Farm directors are a whole lot more happy in this kind of weather as well. And we're looking forward to maybe a little bit of rain. In fact, the weather has been a little bit of a conversation in Chicago these days. Not so much what we're seeing in Wisconsin, but you go farther south between Missouri and even parts of Wisconsin, there's a lot of conversation about drought. The ag meteorologist for the DTN Ag Service said that right now there seems to be a high pressure unit that's holding weather in place from the southeast all the way up to Canada. That's creating some really dry pockets around the southeast and again around Missouri all the way into southern Iowa. So got to keep an eye on what's going on there. Meanwhile, some areas, I'm getting reports from farm broadcasters in North and South Dakota. They've got pockets where they got so much rain they just have nothing that's growing right now. Markets are up on the midday. Corn, beans, and wheat. That's a good news thing. Really, it's happening because we've gotten to such a point where we are considered very, very attractive to a lot of world partners when it comes to purchasing of U.S. grain. So that's helping us out, but it's not making our Wisconsin farmers any happier about what their end game is going to look like. Dairy also today made some fairly dramatic moves. Barrel cheese dropped 6.5 cents to $1.31. 40-pound block cheese, that was up a penny and a quarter at $1.54. AA butter was unchanged. But again, remember, you always want to take a look at the split between barrel and block cheese prices. It's only justified, according to my analyst, 3 to 5 cents. Right now, we've got, $1.54 to $1.31. So we've got a pretty wide spread on barrel and block cheese. And it doesn't take a brain scientist to figure out, Mark, that you can take barrel cheese at $1.31 and cut it into block cheese at $1.54 for a pretty quick profit. But like I said, markets are not always common sense dictating what's going on in the market.
That's cheating, isn't it?
Well, honestly, that's why I can't believe the spread's gotten this far. It does not take a lot of technology to cut a barrel of cheese down to 40-pound block chease. But anyhow, like I said, maybe I'm letting the cat out of the bag.
Got a knife on you?
Yeah, no kidding, eh? Meet you in the garage. Come on over, Mark.
Right. We'll see you later.
All right, see you.
Dave is here now.
I wonder if Pam would call that cutting-edge technology there.
Perhaps she would. I don't know.
Maybe not. I had a big lean on that. I was confident about that, Joe. And I'm confident about this weather, too, because it's so nice outside. Any low pressure still well off to our west, and we're enjoying a few more clouds today, but also some very nice conditions. Once again, no rain to worry about just yet. That arrives tomorrow. So pretty quiet on Doppler track across southern Wisconsin, and quiet and looking very, very nice on this picture over Lake Minocqua. Thank you, Doris, for sending this in. That was the sunset, and from the sunset, we go to the sunrise in Platteville. Lots of sunshine, those clouds starting to build a little bit, and we could see the dramatic change just over a couple of hours in Platteville under Queen Bee Radio Skycam. So that's why we called partly sunny for today, but still not a lot of humidity in the air. Just lots of sunshine. You really couldn't ask for much better of a summer day across southern Wisconsin. Here's what downtown Madison looks like on the Edgewater Skycam. Forecast high 82. That is right at normal for this time of year. Nowhere near a record of 95. But our high temperature trend actually is going down into Thursday and Friday. I think we'll be below average for the first time in quite some time for Thursday and Friday with those rain chances in town. And we actually do hit an inflection point where temperatures go down for the second half of the temperature year. So the average temperature is going down to 81, and then into next month it goes 80, 79. You guys know how to count backwards, right? So temperatures right now are in the 70s, 79 in Janesville, 75 in Madison, and 79 in Boscobel and Lone Rock. Dew points comfortably in the upper 50s and low 60s. Very tolerable for this time of year. Future track showing maybe a few blips trying to form over the next couple of hours. I think the rain chances, folks, will stay away from us until we get into tomorrow. That's when our next low pressure system comes into town. Showers and thunderstorms spreading from southwest to northeast on Thursday, and you can actually see the circulation of that low pressure system here on Friday, bringing some more scattered showers and thunderstorm chances. So anywhere from about a quarter to a half an inch, upwards of an inch of rain possible. Just depends on where these downpours set up over the next couple of days. But we could use a little bit of rain across southern Wisconsin, and we're going to get it just in time. So Thursday, Friday, even into early portions of Saturday, some rain chances will be with us, so we'll need that umbrella. Sunday, we dry out, but maybe some more slight chances for showers and storms on Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, we're in the 70s with plenty of sunshine and back into the 80s by next Friday. Could be a lot worse for this time of year, and we're getting that well-timed rain over the next couple of days.
So on average, this is the warmest week of the year.
Yes, I guess you could say that. Yeah, for a lot of the month of July, we're supposed to be right around 82 degrees, and then temperatures start going down on Monday.
Snowing soon.
La, 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 la.
Enjoy the warmth is what I'm saying.
Yes.
All right, Dave, thank you. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, an Arizona couple's wedding photos are going viral. We'll show you why next. An Arizona couple's wedding photos are going viral for a very different reason. A soon-to-be husband was a little nervous about seeing his bride in her wedding dress for the very first time, so she came up with a creative way to calm his nerves. Michael Callahan has the story.
I was nervous, kind of just stressed, kind of everything kind of come full circle, so much planning happening.
Valentin Zareliev was like any typical guy on his wedding day in Pine Top, nervous.
So then we're just seeing him interact with everybody the day of the wedding, and he's like this, and he's just like so stressed, and he's so nervous, and we're like, yeah, we gotta do it.
So his soon-to-be wife Heidi, his Saguaro High School sweetheart, asked her brother Eric for the ultimate wedding favor.
Can you dress up in Chelsea's old wedding dress and go surprise Val for the first look photos?
And I hear like these gentle, quiet footsteps behind me, and you know, and then the most gentle touch on my shoulder, and then I look back, I'm like, oh, there she is, she's so beautiful, and then I look back.
Not the blonde he was expecting.
I just lose my mind. It was so funny. All the emotions kind of start flowing out, and I was just totally calm, hilarious.
Wedding photographer Nicole Klein originally shared the candid photos on a private Facebook group, but the pictures and a blog about the wedding quickly went viral. The post has thousands of shares and tens of thousands of likes.
I mean, it was hard to photograph because my eyes were watering, because I was laughing like underneath my breath as much as possible. Val's reaction just was timeless. It could not have gone any smoother than it did.
He's one of those like macho men, so seeing him in a dress was totally out of his character.
It actually helped ease my nerves too.
Yeah.
It was a really great start to the beginning of our story. Love you.
As their honeymoon ends and married life begins, the couple hope their creative game of break the ice inspires others to do the same.
That's what stuck out the most, is how many people it's reached and how many people want to do the same thing to kind of just lighten the mood on their wedding day.
I'll tell you, that's brotherly love.
Yeah, exactly.
You look good in that dress.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it really
right
was.
there.
All right, and speaking of incredible, this afternoon.
Weather. Yeah, it's so nice outside with temperatures in the 70s, low humidity, and that sticks around for the rest of the day. Partly sunny and warm this afternoon with highs in the low 80s. Temperatures falling to the 60s tonight. Some rain chances. Visit us tomorrow.
Sailboats out on the lake. That's where you should be right now. But we'll be back here at 4. We'll see you then.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.